Good morning and welcome. I'm Karen. This is Veronica's Dreams Coaching and Tarot. Today is Saturday. Happy Saturday, all. Hope you're doing fantastic on this Saturday. This is our daily reading. I should mix up my deck. I'm sitting here looking at the other decks on my... I don't know. Like right now, I just feel very connected to this one. So we'll keep this one. Let's see. What do we need to know today? This is, keep in mind, this is a collective reading. Take what resonates. Also, please remember to hit that like button if you are so inclined. Much appreciated. Let's see what's going on. Okay, current situation is the Sun. I like that a lot. Present influence, Knight of Swords, and future influence, Five of Pentacles. I don't think that's a negative. I think it's more about new direction. And I get that specifically because of that Knight of Swords. And because the Knight of Swords is such a, it can be such a chaotic energy. It's leading to good things, but it might be like, okay, this is good, but we need to do this differently. Unexpected, Hermit, which is interesting. Okay. Challenge, Full, Strength, Page of Wands. Where does this lead? Death, Queen of Cups. Oh, there's that damn Three of Swords. Okay, Page of Swords, that's okay. Advice, King of Swords. Interesting. King of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Oh boy. It does feel like, it could be, there's going to be a couple things, because the King of Cups can definitely be about a romantic person. It can be about just taking things as they come. It can be a lot of things. I get the feeling, to me, it's almost a little of both, because I feel like with that Knight of Swords and the present influence, it feels chaotic to me, so that you may have to just go with the flow here. But for some of you, this could be someone from the past that's just kind of what this situation is about. I mean, it may be someone in the present as well, but not necessarily the past. It's, sorry, the bottom of the deck really is about just kind of what the reading is overall about. And I'm really getting the feeling that you're just really trying to take things as they come and not overreact or put too much energy into something that may or may not be. And I'm getting that too with that Three of Swords. And because I feel like there's this, and I don't think that, and we'll get there, but I get the feeling that this is more of precautionary. I'm just going to take things as they come. I'm not going to force anything. I'm not going to do anything too drastic, because I do feel like right now you're in a good place with the Sun here. There's joy coming in, and it does come in from something a little bit on the chaotic side with that Knight of Swords. I'm going to clarify the Knight of Swords. Let's see what this is about. Because it could be a person that comes in and it makes you happy, but it kind of comes in kind of surprising, and not even necessarily surprising, but like it kind of does that to you, like, oh god dang it, like, but it is bringing in joy. So it might feel chaotic, but it feels also like it's bringing in that good stuff. Let's look at that Knight of Swords, please. What is the Knight of Swords and the present influence? What is this? We have the King of Swords in the advice. So let's see what this is. That's interesting too. Tell me about the Knight of Swords, please. Okay, Five of Pentacles, Chariot, Four of Swords. So the Chariot is that that energy coming in, right? The Chariot's all about speed. It can be chaotic too, and the reminder with the Chariot is keep your eye on the reins, because those it's going so fast it could go, kind of awry. Um, yeah, there's something here about doing something differently with the Five of Pentacles, and I feel like too there. I feel like though in this that I feel like that's more that I think the Five of Pentacles in this clarifier is something you've been hiding from, and it's coming back around. And there could be some healing involved here with the four. So, like, this could be someone coming in that you've taken a break from, or something that you've been taking a break from. So, it's not necessarily a person, but it is something that you were hiding from, and it's coming back around. Now, this could be something at work, it could be a person. So, keep it as it resonates for you. But what's really interesting here is that healing piece. So, you've been taking a break from this or stepping away from it 100%. But it is, you have been hiding from it, but it is bringing in that sun. So let's clarify that sun, because the influence is what's causing the current situation, which is happiness and joy. And so you're feeling good. So whatever this is, it's not a negative, it's a positive. Um, but I honestly get the feeling like you just know that you need to not force anything here. Um, Okay, what is the sun? Please tell me more about the sun. This happiness, this joy, this bright spot. Wow. I mean, I was like Five of Wands to the Ten of Wands. Wow. So this is definitely, something that's been challenging you, or a conflict. Um, but the Ten of Wands shows hard work, burden, struggle. It was a struggle. There's definitely struggle here. But I feel like with the Page of Swords, this is you've worked through this, that you've worked through the situation, and that's why you have joy, because that Ten of Wands is the ending of the struggle too. Even though the Ten of Wands is not an easy card, and I don't think any of the tens are, they are also endings. And so, well, the Ten of Cups and Ten of Pentacles is, but those are they're reaching goals. Let's put it that way. And the Ten of Wands here is, yeah, you've done some really hard work, and it's been challenging. And I feel like it's been challenging for you. The Page of Swords, so we're reminded that this is something that you've worked on and that you've worked through. So having this at the last piece is that happiness. That's what you've worked through. You've come through it okay, and that you're going, okay, I can do this. So this is an energy coming in. But again, you were hiding from it, because this is why the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Wands and the Ten of Wands, and then we have the Five of Pentacles here too. So I mean, there's those are some hard cards. So I do, but it is bringing in joy. So I think that there's definitely been a break from it, right? With the Four of Swords clarifying the Knight of Swords. So maybe that break was necessary. So now we go to the Five of Pentacles, and I do see this as I don't think you're going to go hide again. Like, I don't feel like that's what this Five of Pentacles is. And the only reason why, like, I see that Five of Pentacles sometimes that way, because he's in the barrel. Like, what this, like, not recognizing other ways to go, not recognizing help when there is some, hiding from things in general. So I get the feeling that this is going to be for some of you, it might be very specific, but I get the feeling that this is a good thing happening, but your mind is telling you that, like, you're going to get disappointed again. And it's not even necessarily this specific situation, but there's that feeling that if I put too much energy into this, I'm just going to get hurt again, or I'm going to get disappointed. Things aren't going to work out the way they should. So I am taking a step back. I do feel like, though, that you realize that you have to do something different if you want a different outcome, to not get disappointed. And the only way to, guarantee that is to do something differently, and it still won't guarantee it. You can't guarantee what others are going to do. So, it's never a guarantee. However, when you put it in your control to either not give something that's negative too much power over you, or too much weight, you have to deal with it, right? Or you have to look at it, but you don't have to give it a lot of weight. It's all up to you on how much energy you give something. If you give it a lot of energy and it's a negative thing, then it's going to be harder to get through it. If you say, okay, this is not good, I got to not give it energy, especially if there's nothing you can do about it, right? Especially if it has to do with someone else, you can't control them. You can't change the way whatever they're doing. All you can do is you, and your perspective, what energy you give to something, your responses, all of those things. Tell me more about the Five of Pentacles. Seven of Cups, Six of Cups, and Ace of Cups. Yeah, you're like, I got choices here. And one of those choices I do feel like is, okay, so I can either treat this like it was in the past. Here are my choices, Seven of Cups. The this is the first choice, is I can relive it like it was in the past, or I can change it and start something new. So you are going to be looking at doing something differently. The Five of Pentacles is the good Five of Pentacles, in the sense that you're going to look at how you can do something differently moving forward, just like we were talking. Like, this is exactly what that's happening here, because the realization of your choices, how you handle something, how you work through something, your responses, all of those things that are going to happen. The Three of Swords was at the bottom of the deck. I didn't pull it up, but when I picked up the cards, I noticed it, and that states a lot, because I think that there's something very much weighing on you as far as pain. So we have the Hermit and the Unexpected. Now, the Hermit can be time alone. It's usually solving a problem alone, because the Hermit is on a search, but you're doing it quietly. Now, this could also be the Discovery, because I get the feeling here that there's things to be discovered. So let's clarify that. The Hermit always has the lantern. And on the Rider White, he's shining it on a snake. So there is a discovery of something. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's a discovery of a bad thing, but it's finding your own answers. And I think of it a lot when, especially when Hermit comes up as a piece of advice, that sometimes we seek answers by asking all of these people, and everyone's going to give you their perspective. And sometimes you don't need the extra noise to really determine what to do, or to really find your own answers. Sometimes your internal noise is enough. You're looking for those answers alone. And it's really good. I mean, when we go to friends and they have their perspectives, and it's good. Sometimes we need that. We need to be shaken up, look at something differently. But the Hermit's asking you to not let that noise drive your decisions. That sometimes the best things come from meditation, or taking a step back, or searching on our own. And it's not that, again, I don't want to say that they're not important. They absolutely are. There is just times where what the advice or what they're saying might be even confusing you, because it's not going to work for you. And it's not that they don't know you, so I want to be very clear on that. That's not it. It's just sometimes you need find your own answers. Tell me more about this Hermit, please, in our Unexpected. Two of Swords. Okay, Five of Wands, Five of Cups. Oof. Oof. Yep, you're like, I got to make a choice here, because I am very conflicted, and I don't want to get disappointed again. And this is big. So whatever this Knight of Swords is coming in, it was hard on you in the past, and you're really struggling with that. And that's why it's surprising that you kind of take a step back, Because I overall get the feeling if this would have happened maybe 10 weeks ago, you would have just dived right in. But now you go, no, I really need to make a decision here. I need to know, I'm conflicted. I don't want to get disappointed again. So how do I handle this? And I need to make a choice. So you're taking a moment. You're taking a moment. And that's good. I mean, I think it's good. Now, and it is. Look, the Knight of Swords is right here at the bottom of this deck after shuffling it. So there is something to be said about that going together. You want to do this differently. I do feel like with this Death card, there's definitely a change. But see, there's that Three of Swords. So I'm really curious about that. Like, we've got the Fool and the Challenge. So I'm going to clarify it before I go into it, because it's one of two things, right? It's going to be either you're afraid to take a leap of faith, or is this a new opportunity? What is the challenge here? What is this Fool in our challenge, please? Tell me more about this Fool in our challenge. Death, Nine of Wands, Hangman. I think you really want to dive in, but you know that this has been hard. Like, change is hard. The Death to the Nine of Wands, and you feel like you want to take some more time to self-reflect instead of dive right into something. And it's a challenge because I think part of you wants to dive right in. But it's saying like, okay, I shouldn't right now. I need to self-reflect or reflect back on a situation in the past, because this is something from the past that's like driving you a little bit. You have been going with the flow here for a long time, but now it's different. And now you have to go, okay, what do I want to do here? And I think it's just, is this really new? And should I really take this on blind faith? And that's what the challenge is. Do you really want to do that? The Page of Wands is in our strength. Now, the Page of Wands is a lot like the Fool if you're taking it as an action card, because pages, the wand pages, start things that they don't think too much about. But I do feel like this is more of, there's some message. So I'm going to clarify this as well in your strength, because it's such a, having that challenge of the Fool and the strength being the Page of Wands, those are a lot similar. So I'm getting the overall feeling that this might be a message, but let's clarify it to be sure. Three of Swords, King of Pentacles, Hierophant. I feel like you are Three of Swords to the King of Pentacles. Like, I get the feeling, and there's no commitment here. I feel like there may be a message that comes in that is recognizing by, okay, there's been some kind of separation. It has to do with the King of Pentacles. It doesn't have to be male. Okay, someone that's very stable. Could also be an earth sign. And then really about a commitment or leveling up, whatever that is in this situation. I think what's happening here is this Page of Wands, there's a message that comes in as this reminder about, is there a commitment coming in? And I think this message is giving you strength in the fact that there's something that is sparking, like, I don't want to do this the same. I need to do this differently. Back to that Five of Pentacles. And because that's in you right now to do it differently, it will serve you well, I think. And that's why it's in the strength, because so this is some knowledge you gain that is going to help you through the situation. And where does this all lead? It leads to the Death and the Queen of Cups. So there is definitely a change. The Queen of Cups is looking at the Death card. The Death card is coming first. and it's headed towards the Queen of Cups. So there's definitely some kind of transformation happening here as well. And it does lead to the Queen of Cups, which is also about the caring and empathy and things like that, or hitting your, that spot in you that, you know, feels right. And I feel like, let's clarify the Death card. I mean, anytime I see the Death card, I feel like that's good, especially when we're looking at a situation that's obviously tough to some degree or was. And the Death card means that things are changing, whether that's you that's changing or the situation that's changing. What I don't like is seeing that Three of Swords. I do like, though, that it's followed by the Page of Swords, because that's complete clarity there. So I do feel like there's something happening there. Tell me about this Death card. Okay, Eight of Cups, Five of Swords, Ten of Swords. You've been walking away from something or turning your back on it, whatever. Same thing with the Five of Pentacles, hiding from it, walking away from it. I think you don't want to deal with this fight, and that's what's over. I'm not doing this. I'm not fighting this anymore. And the ending is of that. The fight, like this is like all fight. Like, I'm walking away from this fight, and this is over. And I think that Death card is what is coming out of that Ten of Swords being over. You need to recover from this battle that you've walked away from. And the change comes from, there was an ending here, and it actually was helpful. And now, like, it's allowed you to change as a person, whether it's perspective or actions or just grow, grow as mature. And I think that is why the Queen of Cups is here. I think this is really interesting. So there's the Queen of Cups, which is, I feel like, what you're changing into. I feel like there's much more patience here, and you're aware of your heart space. Yeah, I feel like you're aware of your heart space. Tell me more about this Queen of Cups. Ace of Cups. There's that Five of Wands again. It just keeps popping up all over the place. Queen of Pentacles. So there was the King of Pentacles. Now there's the Queen of Pentacles. I think that, a new energy for sure. There is a conflict here, because I feel like, the conflict. So the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles are very different. The Queen of Pentacles is very much into stability and money and home. And so there would be like, where a Queen of Pentacles listens to what is going to be right, and the Queen of Cups listens to her heart and what feels right. And so there's a difference here in this, and that's the conflict. Because I think, like, you want to feel and have that love, right? The feelings, the empathy, that love. And there's a conflict here, because there's also where that you got to take care of business. But I do feel like, I don't think this is you acting like the Queen of Cups. I feel like this Queen of Cups, where this is leading, is you looking at what you want to do and how you want to change. Because this Queen is facing that Death card. And you're revisiting everything here right now. This is very important, I think, because there is something new happening, and it is a conflicting energy. So is this new thing good or bad? And I think with the Queen of Pentacles is the stability piece. The Queen of Cups is saying, yes, I need this to change. There's a feeling to me, especially when we clarified the Page of Wands, that there's this feeling of stability, of commitment, of being grounded versus just feeling. And it's like this either needs to grow or go away. And I think that Queen of Cups is pouring that energy into the Death card, into those transformations. Now, we do have the Three of Swords followed by the Page of Swords. So let's take a look at this Three of Swords. You know, Three of Swords is hurt, pain, sadness. It also is separation. So it's not always, it can be separation in distance from somebody. Let's see what this is. I'm getting a feeling again of that hiding. I mean, this Three of Swords is a bent down, not looking, not paying attention. So I don't always see sadness this way or hurt this way, but it almost feels to me like instead of this being a sadness card, it's almost like I don't want it to turn to this again, so I'm not looking at it. It's like if I ignore it, it's not going to happen. I'm almost getting that feeling here with this Three of Swords. I just need to ignore this and then I won't get hurt. That's what I'm getting the feeling. Yeah. The Wheel, Emperor, King of Cups. Wow. Yeah. So this person, if this is a person in your life, they've really kind of messed with you a little bit. Now, it doesn't mean it's right or wrong, but I get that feeling because of the Emperor too. And the Three of Swords. So this is a new time. Things are definitely have moved forward. I do feel like there is more control here. I don't think now the more I'm thinking this is the King of Cups, but I get the feeling that your reason why you're not picking up your head is, and allowing this to be painful is because this person has a little bit of control over you. And it's not necessarily like, I don't want to say not necessarily like, abuse, that kind of thing. Like you just give in to them easily, right? Like, this hasn't been good. And that tells me in all these cards that have been happening, but you want to, but they bring joy too. And there's this really weird dynamic here, but they do have control. It's like that person that you see that all of a sudden you forget all of the things that maybe went wrong and you just see the things that are right. And it's really easy. It's like that daydream. Oh, you just kind of get there with them. And even though there's been a separation and they're coming back around, and this is you not looking at that. It's not necessarily that you can't move forward with this person, but you need to look at all of the things, the hard parts and the good parts before moving forward is my interpretation of this Three of Swords. It's like, I got to pick up my head. So then we have the Page of Swords here, which I do feel like is knowledge, because the Page of Swords is all about spending the time and really working through something, right? And it also is epiphanies, that we have. I feel like there is some knowledge, and again, pages can be messages, and messages can turn into epiphanies. So I do feel like this is some message or something you learn moving forward so that you can make better decisions. And I do get a very positive feeling with this Page of Swords. And I don't always get positive with Page of Swords, but I do this with this. I really am. So tell me more about this Page of Swords, please. Two of Wands. Oh, good. The High Priestess, Seven of Pentacles. So, yes. So the Two of Wands, right? The planning, you understanding that things need to be planned. What I do like with this is I feel like what you have learned is that you are going to trust your intuition. You are going to trust your inner self, your higher self. And that does lead to working through this with patience and not diving right in and trying to get an answer quickly, because the Seven of Pentacles is about working through something long term. It's not a wand where you get the answer right away and it turns into this big burden and all of those things. The Seven of Pentacles is taking your time, working through it. Now it does have the Two of Wands, so you're doing it with intent as well, because the Two of Wands is about making those plans with intent for something, but it's also understanding and trusting your intuition that you'll be using moving forward with this particular situation. And I think that's really good. We have the King of Swords in our advice. I do feel like this is saying be precise. I think that you need to be articulate. You need to use, I want to say powerful control, but not mean control. Okay. So, in other words, the king is very mature. The King of Swords is very precise. They're very articulate, but they're very mature. So, it's asking you to use maturity and preciseness in dealing with the situation. I think it's also looking at it realistically, not halo or, imaginary, you know, um, romancy, things like that. It's like, look, be very clear and understand it clearly and look at it clearly. All of those things is very precise, direct, and clear. That's what the swords are about, right? So, and the king is here as a doing this in a mature way. And so I think this is really important here. So, sorry, that reading went on a little long. So there you have your reading for today. I actually really like it. I think for some of you, this will be a real eye opener. Well, I thought it was a really good reading. So, anyway, take care. Have a beautiful day. And don't forget that thumbs up button. Thanks.